I'm Natasha Chilingarian.
I'm Michael Ogden, and this is Shared Accounts with CU Times. And Natasha, you
Yes,
apparently have something fun to share with the group today. What is it?
I do.
Okay.
Okay, so I got this idea. So I think it was a few episodes back. We were recording. You did a quiz with Zach and I on Are You in the Right Job? And it was kind of a
Yeah, the
personality,
personality.
yeah, with
Yeah.
multiple choice. And I was like,
Okay.
oh, this is so fun. And it made me think of back in like the 90s when I was in like, junior high, high school and would
Sure.
read 17 and Teen Magazine or
Okay.
YM, any of those print analog, media
Okay.
and the quizzes they would have in there. And I was like,
Yeah.
it would be so funny if we could dig up one of those old quizzes and showcase it on the podcast and take the
Great.
quizzes now. So,
Yeah. I
so
love
I
this
have,
idea.
so
Okay.
I have a quiz. We're going to take turns. I'm going to start with you, Michael, and then we're going to do Zach.
Okay.
And yeah, I'm going to just keep tally here with the score and the results.
Okay.
And yeah, I think it should be
All right.
amusing.
Wait, can I ask what is this an old quiz?
Yes, absolutely. So these
Okay,
are
from
we had genuine quizzes from real magazines.
what magazine is it from? Do
Okay,
you
so
remember?
this one, it is from YM. And I'll say that's one I didn't read as much. I was mostly a teen 17 girl, but
YM.
I think it stood for Young and Modern, I believe. I don't know
Okay.
who
That's
published it.
fine.
It was either like Hearst or Condé Nast. They did all the
Okay.
magazines. It
All
is
right.
August 1996 issue of
Whoa. Okay.
YM.
Okay.
And the topic is, what's your party personality?
I love
Follow
this.
arrows to find out just where you fit into the social scene.
Awesome. Wait.
Okay.
One more clarifying question.
Yes.
Should Zach and I answer these as if we were in the 90s? Is this
What would be
past
more
us?
fun? Yeah, I mean,
I
we
think
still
I
go
can
out.
easily tap into younger me.
Okay. Let's
You,
do it as a younger, yeah, because then we can discover what you were like in the 90s, in
okay. I'll
1996.
do
So
my
picture
best.
yourself, and okay, it's 1996. You are, I don't know what you're doing, but you're
Oh, I'm
something.
still older than you. Yeah, I am 26 years old.
Okay. Oh, that's
I was 9.
Yeah.
okay. Well, then, I don't know. Maybe you
I
should
mean,
do it as like your
maybe
high
if
school
20,
yourself.
20-year-old me was transported to 1996.
How about we all just pretend we were in our 20s
Perfect.
or
20s.
teenagers
Okay.
or something? I don't
Teenagers,
know.
20s.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
Yeah, we
yeah.
were young. We were really dumb at the
Right.
time. Okay.
Great.
Okay, so we'll start with you, Michael.
Yeah.
So it's a little flow chart. So
Hmm.
it's going to be one question to the next, and then we'll tell you what you are. Okay.
Oh, sweet.
Okay. So first question, Michael, and they're just yes or no questions.
Okay.
Do crowds make you claustrophobic?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Next question. At a party, do you tend to stick with your best bud rather than work the room?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Next question. Do your buds always call you to find out what the evening's plans are?
Hell no.
Okay. Okay. Next, have you ever skipped a fiesta to spend a romantic evening alone with I'll say a special gal?
If I'm going to answer this like teenage me, I would
Yeah.
say absolutely yes.
Yes. Okay. All right. And then I think this is the final question here. You get a party invite in the mail.
Hmm.
Do you immediately try to think up an excuse so you won't have to go?
I mean, can you imagine having that time to think? Well, I got it in the mail,
And
and
I
I
actually just
don't
added
have
that in. I'm just
to
assuming it was in the
respond.
mail.
Wait, okay, wait.
Yeah.
I was thrown by the mail.
Yeah.
What was the actual
Like,
question?
so you get your invitation and you
Yeah.
got it in your hands. Are you like, oh, I need to come up with an excuse so I won't have to go?
Yep.
Yes? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Well, then, Michael, you are the mellow mixer. You prefer
Yeah.
hanging one on one to than having to deal with a huge group. You feel
Yep.
so much more genuine when you're not schmoozing it up, and your friends value your down to earth vibe. Just make sure that you don't get into a home alone rut. Sometimes you have to venture beyond your best bud for a social life.
That is so true. Okay, I love it.
So you were okay, okay,
That's pretty accurate. Yeah. To
okay,
this day, yeah.
okay. So Zach, we can do you, or I actually have another quiz. Maybe you can do this other one. This one is, and you can choose, Zach. So would you rather find out what your party personality is, or would you like to find out if your best friend in the high school version of you was good for you or not?
I'm 99% sure that I'm just going to be answering the exact same way Michael did. So let's
Try
try the
something
other
else. Okay, let's do
For
it then. Just to
variety,
get a
yeah.
little bit of variety. Okay. So picture who was like your best bud in high school.
Am I picturing it or am I saying?
It's up to you. You could say it'd be funny if we could, unless it's someone that you
In high
don't
school, I had like a group, and I would say like it was 3 people. It was Drew, Sam, and James.
Drew Sam James.
Okay, all right. So let's kind of picture kind of them and what they might be doing back in the 90s. So this is from, it's also from an issue of YM, February 1995. Well, we're going back in time another year.
Okay.
All right.
The O.J. Simpson trial has barely started or hasn't started yet.
Oh, I'm watching that.
Okay, so Zach, first question. This, and I'm going to change it gender reversal because obviously this was written for a straight woman.
Mm.
Okay. Your girlfriend dumps you and you flunk on a midterm on the same day. When you call your best friend to tell him, he, A, says that your problems aren't as bad as his and proceeds to list them, B, drops everything and lets you cry your heart out for hours, or C, tries to help you get a grip by putting things in perspective.
Let's say C.
C, okay. Seems reasonable. Seems like a good way to respond. Okay.
Yeah, there wasn't a laughs at you option.
Okay, question 2. It's the weekend and you're totally broke. Since your best friend has a job, you ask him for a loan. He, A, offers you all the money in his wallet. B, agrees, but says that you should find a way to earn some extra cash. Or C, tells you that he's broke too and just can't lend you a dime.
I'd say B.
B, okay.
Offers money but doesn't not make fun of me for it.
But, okay.
Good. Nice.
All right. Question 3. You have nothing to do, so you drop by his house. He's on his way out. He, A, blows off his plans to hang with you instead. B, invites you to come along with him. Or C, just talks to you for a few minutes before taking off. Because we would drop by houses, I guess. That was a thing back then.
Right.
Probably B.
B, okay. So come along, yeah. Nice friend,
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's not like a date, I would say B.
Okay, you're leaving the bathroom at a party, and you don't realize you accidentally tucked your skirt into your underwear.
Zach.
I know.
I know. So let's pretend you're wearing a skirt.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Your friend, he either runs over and tells you, then shields you while you untuck it.
No.
B, laughs hysterically, making sure everyone is in on the joke.
B.
Or C, see, I knew that would be it. Waits until you sit down, then clues you in when no one else can hear. Okay, B, yeah, you probably would.
Yeah.
I feel like it'd be more appropriate for boys to be laughing than...
It would be immediately,
Yeah.
oh my God, look at his pants.
Yeah.
Okay, question 5. You meet the girl of your dreams. When you tell your friend, he acts, A, psyched, but bummed that he's going to see less of you now. B, jealous, because he wants a girlfriend too. Or C, totally panic-stricken. Who will he hang out with now?
If I had to pick one, A.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, I mean...
Hmm?
And it's like, just because you meet the person of your dreams, you're actually going to be with them? It assumes that's kind of funny.
The teen girl magazines were really optimistic.
There's a whole, I mean, the way they, talked about stuff like that was pretty crazy and narrow-minded. But anyway, okay, a few more questions left. You're having an all-time bad hair day. What does your friend say? A, tells you that your hair looks great. B, nothing. Trying to make you feel better is not at the top of his priority list. Or C, says that your hair will look much better up, then helps you put it up in a twist.
Love this.
I mean, the only realistic option is B.
That guy.
You're so obsessed with your hair back then, I'm sure.
There wasn't agrees. Yeah, that looks
Bad
terrible.
hair day.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the Kathy comic strip where she would always be like
All right.
having a bad hair day and be like,
Yeah.
sorry, I'm late for work. My hair won't start. Okay. You clearly didn't
Forgot
read
about
that
that.
comic strip.
First Kathy reference.
Kathy.
Okay,
Very
next.
90s.
He lends you his favorite silk dress and you spill
Oh.
cranberry juice all over it.
Oh,
How would he
Oh,
react?
double out.
Oh,
A,
no.
blows up and demands you buy another one.
Yes.
B, says don't worry about it because he has lots of other dresses. Or C, is bummed but says he'll get over it eventually.
Probably A, because it would have been his mom's, I'm guessing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
But if they lived in Massachusetts, they could have lived near a cranberry bog and might not be a big deal.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey,
Okay.
all of our clothes are stained with cranberry.
Yes. Okay. So we are done with the quiz.
Okay.
Let me just kind of go through that up. So we've got 2.
You nervous, Zach?
2, 4.
I'm so nervous.
I know. What's it going to be? Are you
Are
destined to be with this friend?
Nice.
Okay. 8. Let's say 10, and then let's say 12, 13, 14. Okay.
There's so much math. What
All right.
is happening?
Yeah, it wasn't. It should be like mostly A's, mostly
Didn't like
B's,
my-
but
didn't like
instead
my
it's
answer.
like
I
they mixed them
guess.
up. Okay, so according to this, you have a bad news bud. Your
Oh
friend's
no.
feelings for you seem to change more often than Linda Evangelista's hair color. Remember her?
Ah!
That's such a good
She's
burn.
she's there for you when you're up, but pulls a disappearing act when you're down, or he's everything. A true best friend sticks around through the tough times as well as the good. Try telling him that you want more than a part-time pal. Maybe he just needs you to clue him in on how to be a better bud. And
Yeah,
that
tell
is
him to
it.
stop being such a Linda Evangelina.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
that is
Okay. Well,
wicked.
yes. So, what did we learn about ourselves from these quizzes,
Uh-huh.
Michael and Zach?
Um, 90s me is pretty much the same me now.
To me, yeah. Okay.
I forgot I was supposed to be answering that way because it honestly was just kind of the same answer.
Yeah.
So we have not changed, right?
But I love the references.
That's what I thought is funniest about this, like the celebrity references, just the way
Okay.
people would talk. Anyway, it's fun. It's
I
fun
love
to
it.
look back.
You
So
show
that's
up
it.
unannounced to their house.
Yeah.
You
We
mail
totally
something.
did. We totally
Mail
did.
party invite.
Yep. Anyway, that was my fun treat. So we can
Natasha,
move
thank
on.
you so much for digging those up. I do want to play
Thank you,
more of
Natasha.
these, but we need to maybe start the show. But on the other side of the theme here, I think we're going to do a very quick quiz for you, Natasha. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So everybody else, glad you're here. Hope you enjoyed that. Welcome to Shared Accounts with CU Times. Coming up, we are talking with Jeremy Empol. He is the new president and CEO of California's credit unions and Nevada's credit unions. He took over for Scott Simpson, who, as you know, is now leading America's credit unions. So Jeremy took over the helm from interim CEO Lucy Ito, who we also adore, in early March. And we're so excited to finally connect with him and find out what he has planned out west. But first, as we do, we got to take a break from the week and check in with Natasha. Hey, Ed.
Hey, Em.
I loved those quizzes. And
Oh,
I do
thank
want
you.
you, if you can find more super 90s, whatever, early 2000s stuff with those references, I would
Good
love to
stuff.
see more of
Yeah, I think we should introduce it more. I think, and this nostalgia's having a moment just
It
in
is.
culture. So I
Now-
love it. I'm here for it.
Now, speaking of which, you sent me one ahead of time,
I
and I
did.
was kind of reading through it while you were giving Zach his quiz. Can I ask you a few questions
Sure.
from this quiz you sent me?
Yeah,
Now,
absolutely.
in looking at it, it's from June 97. And was this also from YM?
Oh, this one was actually from Teen
Oh,
Magazine.
Okay,
Yeah.
Teen Magazine, June 1997. I want to give you a couple of questions from here from this quiz. The quiz is, do you have boys on the brain? Which I thought was really funny. If
I think I'm a little. I think that'd be inappropriate if I had boys on the brain right now. It's the age of 43 if they were boys.
suppose.
So,
But I love the references in here. It says, if guys are your reason for living. Hold on, Dee Dee. We'll wait for her to calm down.
let me grab her.
Okay.
I will be right back. We can edit out this
Yep.
little part. Yep. Okay.
It's all staying in.
Hi,
Yeah.
come here, sweetie. Come on, baby. We got to finish up the podcast.
Okay, all of this is staying in, Zach.
I'm not cutting anything.
Okay, baby. Yes.
She can't hear us.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, we're back. All right.
We're back.
Thanks, Deanie. Okay, Natasha, we're doing the quiz. Do you have boys on the brain? Here we go. I'm just
Okay.
going to do a few of these, okay?
Okay.
There's like 11 questions here.
Yeah, it's a lot. Okay.
Okay, question 1. You're at the mall and your best friend has a major earth-shattering story to share. You A, give her your full undivided attention. B, check out the guys behind her wondering if your hair looks okay. C, note the hotties over her shoulder, but decide her story is more important than scoping.
I mean, back then, I don't remember seeing hot guys in the mall. Like, I don't think that's why I went. So
Okay.
I'd probably A. Yeah, I mean, I'd probably
Oh, you
give
gave
the
her a full
attention.
attention.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Let's see. Your boyfriend dumps you. You feel A, panicked and filled with the need to find a replacement. Pronto. B, sort of bummed. C, like swearing off men forever.
That's funny because when you said that,
It's
I
so
remember
dramatic.
that. I remember taking the quiz when the magazine came out in
Uh,
'97, and
uh,
remember that those answers, like they're still in my brain.
really?
Sadly,
What was
yeah,
your answer?
probably C. I would say like swear. I'd
Swearing off
probably
my
just
prayer.
be really, yeah, be like, okay, screw this,
Okay, great. Okay, I have to ask this one because of the reference.
Okay.
Okay, you must hit 7-Eleven on a froyo run. How long does it take you to get ready? A few minutes. Doesn't hurt to look cute just in case. B, no time. The only guys on your mind are Ben and Jerry. Okay. C, at least an hour. If you happen to bump into a hot guy, you want to look fierce.
Oh my God, that's pathetic. An hour.
It's pretty awful.
I would say probably A, I guess, just because I would have to
Doesn't hurt to
put
look cute
together.
just in case.
If it was now, it would definitely be B. I would
Okay,
not care
great.
about not what anyone thought I looked like.
Okay, here's my last question for you, and then we got to get to the
Oh
interview.
no.
But
Okay. Okay.
this I loved, and Zach, maybe you remember this, but it says,
Okay.
when watching Party of Five, do you sometimes lose track of the storyline because you're too busy drooling over Scott Wolf? A, no way. Guys like him will only break your heart. B, always. Who can concentrate when Babelicious Bailey is on
Oh my God.
screen?
So
Oh, Jesus.
wow.
Or C, at times, after all, he's a foxy fella.
Oh my God. Well, I didn't watch Party of Five,
Oh, I
but I'm
love
thinking
that show.
like, but I definitely I liked a celebrity crush, when watching. I remember I watched Boy Meets World,
Oh,
and I think
sure.
I liked like the older brother, Will
Yep.
Friedle, I think was the actor. But so I don't know. Yeah, I guess probably C, maybe. Yeah, I would like to
Okay.
watch a cute guy on the screen.
All right. Because I didn't do the whole quiz, I can't really add up anything. But
I know.
anyway, we can do more of those. We need to condense them down a little bit,
I
maybe.
know.
But I love the Party of Five question. I love that Bodine song. Do you remember that theme song, Closer to Free?
Yeah, sadly I don't because I never watched
Oh,
that.
well,
Maybe we could
hold
insert a
on.
clip.
You'd recognize it.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Let me see if I can find it. I got an ad.
While he's looking, can I ask,
Sure.
would you describe any of your celebrity crushes as babelicious?
I don't think I
Great
would have ever
question.
used that word. I mean, that's a really corny sounding word. So
Mhm.
no, I wouldn't describe them as babelicious.
Here's a quick clip of Closer to Free. Oh, gosh darn it. It's playing Party of Five.
Oh, that's so 90s.
Yep.
Love it.
I don't want to play it too much and we get in trouble, copyright stuff and all.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's fun though.
Okay, we should move on.
Okay, let's move on. Okay, that
Great
was
quizzes.
fun. Nothing to do with our interview,
Nope.
but okay, let's move on to it. We got to switch gears here.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you said, we finally had the pleasure of meeting Jeremy Empol. We've been wanting to chat with him for a while since that big transition was made with Scott Simpson going to America's Credit Unions. Jeremy's been there for a couple months now. And yeah, it was really fun chatting with him. He is super stoked to be back at the,
Yep.
as he still lovingly calls it, the league,
Yeah.
so even though they've rebranded, of course. He was away for a few years because he was there previously for about 16 years doing advocacy. And so, yeah, but it was fun because he was like, oh yeah, it's like the same phone number and the same email address. And I even knew where the bathroom was, like
Yeah.
down the hall.
Yeah.
So yeah, he's very happy to be back. We had a fun conversation about how he approaches, discussing the credit union agenda with elected officials. Some good kind of like thoughts about that because I believe we were speaking with, it was like Jason Sturrock and Elizabeth Yergubian about,
Oh, yeah.
do we have to tell the Credit Union 101 stories
Yep.
these days? And yeah, he talks about how he really finds a connection like with the elected official, like what do they care about? And then how do the credit unions fit in with that? Like whether it's agriculture or something that they're focused on, and keeping the conversations hyper local. So I thought that was some good advocacy advice there. And at the end of our interview, he has a really fun answer to our question of what was your first ever paid job?
Yeah.
Enjoyed that. Hint for our listeners, it will make you very nostalgic for summertime and hot weather. And it also has a connection to celebrity sightings. So
Yeah.
it's a lot of fun. Jeremy Empol, we got that coming up for you. It's a real meaty interview. So stay tuned. Got all that coming up next. Joining us in the virtual studio today is Jeremy Empol, President CEO of California's credit unions and Nevada's credit unions. Hey, Jeremy, welcome to Shared Accounts.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, thanks for joining. Hey, so where are you calling in from today? I know, representing more than one state, obviously.
Yeah.
Wasn't sure. Where are you based?
I'm in our Sacramento office here in
Okay.
California, looking across the street at the Capitol. So I can see
Wow.
that. What's lovely about this office is that it's 90 miles from Carson City. So we can be over at the Capitol over in Nevada. And in fact, I was there yesterday in the
Oh,
Reno area with one of our members. So it's really nice and convenient for us.
nice. Right in the center of it all. Sounds
That's
like right in
awesome.
Sacramento, yeah.
Hey, Jeremy, I want to ask you, if I can really quick, just because I find it very unusual. Have you been paying attention at all that the Oakland A's are playing in Sacramento?
As a tried and true Dodger fan, I absolutely have. My son and I have tickets for when the Dodgers are here the last week of June
Okay.
and went to a game last year. In fact, for Dodger fans out there, last year, there was a Max Muncy on the A's, and there's a Max Muncy who is one of our favorite players on the
Yeah.
Dodgers. So we called him the imitator. But yes, we've
Okay.
been over to the stadium quite a few times because I live in West Sacramento.
Fantastic. And I apologize, Natasha. I wasn't
No,
planning on
all
asking
good.
about that.
Hey,
But,
we're
yeah, I wanted
starting
to
with the
learn.
fun part, I guess.
Exactly.
right,
All right,
today.
I'll shut up.
Okay, that's
I'll be
okay.
quiet.
Yeah, so no, Jeremy, so you're fairly new. So congratulations on the new role.
Yeah.
Very exciting. And we're finally getting a chance to catch up with you. So just start off, tell us kind of what has it been like so far for you the past 2 months being in the role? What have you been focusing most of your time on so far as the new CEO?
Well, it's been great to be back with the league. Still
Yeah.
called the league, even though we are
Yeah.
California's credit unions and Nevada's credit unions. I do view it as the association is where we are now versus the league where I used to work. I only do that because we are significantly different, but we're still here serving our members, and
Mhm.
especially with our focus and emphasis on advocacy. We talked about that I'm here in the Sacramento office. I'm in the same suite in our office that I was in before.
Oh.
I'm in my cell phone number, my office number, all that stuff, email, everything is the same as it was
Oh,
when I was
wow.
here. And I
Okay.
did that intentionally
Oh, that's
because
cool.
I knew a lot of folks, you know how it is with your phone, you keep a contact and you don't
Yeah.
update it. So everybody still has that. So it made the
Right.
transition easier. In terms of the credit union family, has been nothing but supportive. And I really feel welcome back with open arms to our members here in California, Nevada, and across the country. Now, when I was at the Home Loan Bank, I also had Arizona, so I got to know a couple of the credit unions over there as
Mhm.
well. And we can talk a little bit about the Home Loan Bank experience in a bit.
Sure.
And then nationally, right? And when I left, it was CUNA and NAFQ, and now it's ACU and the
Mhm.
merger and the team. So it's good. I've been reconnecting with a lot of our members and then a lot of our system players. And then I have a lot of really great connections, mentors and peers across the league system. There's a couple league presidents who have just been outstanding contacts for me who, moments of support and whatnot.
Mhm.
And that's really helped me then to spend time with our boards and spend time with our members to really focus and align. And the team has just been phenomenal. Now, that was one of the big appeals to come back was
Yeah.
here in Sacramento and our advocacy team in general. I was, of the 13 of us, 7 I had worked with and 1 I recommended for a job. So
Okay.
I take a lot of ownership and pride in being a part of the team and now getting to lead it.
Oh.
So you had the same phone number, same email, and you knew where the bathrooms were.
Yep.
That's kind of a great way to start.
And the coffee shop in the basement.
And the
That's
coffee
important.
shop in the basement. I love it. So you're mentioning the other gig that you had for 16 years at the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco.
Well, let me correct
No,
you.
actually,
Or sorry, I got that backwards.
3 years at the Home Loan Bank.
3
and
years.
15 years here at the league.
So, but I apologize. I'm terrible at math, for one. For two, I was curious, were you able, before you left, were you working with Scott Simpson then at all?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Scott and I, there was a project at the end of, mid through COVID,
Yeah.
and we got to finish it about the end of 22. And that was right when I left. And Scott was one of the league presidents, and I was one of at that point, I was the senior vice president of federal government affairs. So we were working on how the system advocates together.
Yeah.
And so we were in partnership. And Scott and I and Stephen Nelson, who now runs Fuel Solutions, but was at the Utah League at the time, we had all worked together on several projects. That's one of the best parts about this system, is that we're always collaborating on some form of project together. There's always something, hey, I'd love to chat with you about your thoughts on this.
Yeah.
Even just where you'll text and ask each other a question and, get 3 or 4 different perspectives. There's a lot of that happens.
Can I ask you about your time at the Federal Home Loan Bank of San Francisco, about how that prepped you for this CEO job you're in now?
So when I'm here at the league, it's a trade association, a part of this massive movement, right? We're much more than just your trade here.
Yeah.
At the bank, it's an institution. So from an advocacy perspective, we would call it, people in advocacy technically work in one of 3 lanes, right? Well, 4, government. Or when you go private sector, it's called in-house, which is what I did at the Home Loan Bank. Trade, which is being here at the associations, or multi-client, which would be like a firm that has, multi-clients. So it was a big jump in the sense of always doing trade to moving to in-house. Because when you work at a trade, you work on a team of advocates that understand it, and you're educating your membership about being a part of the advocacy effort. When I went to the bank, I was the only person who spoke the advocacy language, and it was my job to be the expert in it, and then to teach the others, whether they were the C-suite or the employees, to be the conduit for them. So it prepared me in a whole different lane to on how to communicate. The other thing is, these are financial services professionals doing a whole lot of very complex operations. Home loan banks are often misunderstood because of the complexity of how they operate in the background, but they are essential for the financial services sector in the United States. Now, much like credit unions, they are cooperatives. They're member-owned, and they don't pay taxes. They are a government-sponsored enterprise, and they are an instrumentality of the federal government. That being said, they are still a privately capitalized cooperative. So working in that field, telling that story, helping it to have some clarity around what it is that the home loan bank's role is. A lot of people think of home loan banks as the solution to wonderful life.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Run scene, right? How do you stop a bank run? How do you stop a run on a credit union? And they're the liquidity provider. And we always told the story as in that infamous scene, if the town people had come in and the home loan bank had been there, George Bailey would have picked up the phone, called his home loan bank, said, I need to pledge my collateral. I need to get liquidity. And he would have sent everybody on their way because they would have all had access to their funds.
I'm up for rewriting that movie. It really drives me nuts.
Another story for another day.
Okay, fine.
So that's one avenue, the comparables between the credit union system and the home loan bank system. So I was never truly away. The other thing is, in that cooperative are credit unions, banks, CDFIs, and insurance companies. So it allowed me exposure to the banks. And we all knew, everyone at the home loan bank knew I was the credit union guy. So I spent a lot of time really developing relationships with bankers and the insurance companies and a little bit with the CDFIs. We had about 10 CDFI members. So that got me a lot of exposure to the banking sector in California, Nevada, and Arizona. And then the last piece was to prepare me for this role was communicating to the C-suite and to the board in a different way. Again, they're not engaged in advocacy on a day-to-day basis. And so I had to go into, for example, my last year, our CFO was our interim CEO.
Okay.
And he thought very differently than the 2 prior CEOs I had in my early tenure. And so we would have really complex conversations that were good, where he would explain how he looked at impact first, bottom line things first, and then getting into what the political message was or how we navigated the narrative. So a different challenge. And that's helped me to prepare to communicate differently with the credit union members across the space.
Wow.
Nice, yeah. Well, and also thanks for that explainer on the
it's a little long there, I know.
No, because I think
totally.
It is a little misunderstood. Like when you hear about the home loan bank, we'll just hear about them when they're helping out a credit union do, a home loan program, helping their members buy homes and all that. But yeah, in general, I don't think it's talked about as much. So thanks for that explainer.
And I'll add this for your audience. For years, credit unions have discussed the name Are we really credit unions? Are we not-for-profit financial cooperatives? How do we want to be known as, right? Well, the Federal Home Loan Bank is not an institution of the federal government. It does not make home loans, and it's not a bank. So the grass is not always greener on the other side.
Right. Okay, so Jeremy, let's go back to just talk a bit more about, your new role as CEO. You touched a little bit so far on some people in the industry, some previous league presidents that you said have been good mentors and collaborators and all that. I'm curious, when you look back at some of the previous CEOs of the, as you call it, the league, I still like to call it the league too. When I started at CU Times, it was still the league. People like Bill Cheney was there. And then, of course, Diana Dykstra, who recently retired. I was curious, were they people that you interacted with and maybe learned from at all? And then I guess, what do you say that you are uniquely bringing to the table now under a Jeremy California Nevada League era that might be unique, maybe from past leaders that have been at the league?
Great question. Bill is still with us as CEO of Schools First Federal Credit Union, our largest member, and I talk to Bill pretty frequently. He was the CEO when I started in 2007 for my first 4 years, and worked with him when he was at CUNA. And then back to Schools First, and we worked together. We were at a conference about 2 weeks ago together, and those are conversations between Bill and I, but yes, I call on him a lot. Diana, great leader, inspirational leader, worked for her between when Bill left and till when I left. Diana really taught me a lot about the operations of the credit unions. She was actually the chair of the committee I first reported to when I was the grassroots director, my very first job at the league. So she was very instrumental in my development and understanding really down to the foundational pieces of what credit unions are. And I draw on a lot of that wisdom pretty regularly.
Nice.
Now, you phrased the question a little interesting about what it's going to be like under me. My view is this is a member-driven association. The members always come first. So I'm going to be reflective of the members. And about 3 years ago, when Scott came to lead California, Nevada, and Utah, he created the fuel solutions model, which we can talk a little bit about if you'd like. And in that model, it now puts advocacy as the front piece of the league and sourced properly. And that's really where I bring my area of expertise. That's not to say that the business element of the former league service corps and the operations side of the leagues aren't important. It's just now in a shared service model so we can really devote the resources to where our members want them to go. So as I said, the members are always going to come first for me, and I'm always going to be thinking about them. And they've made advocacy the priority. And so that's where I'm going to be reflective of the membership.
Can I ask you, kind of moving on from that, a blunt question, really? What are the top, say, 2 advocacy issues this year for credit unions in California and Nevada?
So if we're talking about legislative and regulatory, we can go in a couple different directions.
Sure.
First of all, last year, the state legislature passed a cap on overdraft, not insufficient funds. When they did that, it really singled out credit unions in a different way. Now, the league negotiated it into something manageable, but of course, it left an impact on a lot of credit unions. And we've seen migration to the federal charter for a significant amount of credit unions in California. The league's job is not to tell our members how to do their business. It's to create the optimal environment for them to operate and serve their field of membership. So we take it very seriously when we don't have competitiveness in the federal and state charter. But I can't say that's the top priority. I would say that it's the operating environment in general, making sure our credit unions have that ability to serve their members, right? Every day there seems to be some new challenge to credit unions, and they've asked us to look at all sorts of different small little regulations, all the way to big chartering issues. So I think it's really the operating environment is the number one answer. Now, on the legislative front, California has had its fair share, and we definitely see it, and we hear it from our peers across the country. We had the Community Reinvestment Act legislation last year, and it's still alive this year. Stay tuned with us on that one. I think it was about my 3rd or 4th week on the job. The legislative analyst office here in Sacramento, which is kind of the congressional budget office version of Sacramento, released this massive study on how to tax different items. And credit unions were in there.
Yikes.
Well, credit union investments were in there. It was one.
Okay.
And to that respect, that was, first of all, the leagues are built for that fight. Always. And on top of that, we were the first call to the legislative analyst office. He told us when we talked to him about it and got the background and had better understanding. And we had some good conversations that spawned from there with the legislators, the chairman of the 2 budget committees, and the leadership offices. So it's been a lot on the legislative and regulatory front. And I know you wanted a kind of simple answer there, but unfortunately with California, it's never going to be easy. It's just our environment.
Yeah.
Right. I think when we interviewed Diana a while back, she said, California is a beast in itself. All of that compared to the other states. So,
and given the national sentiment and the politics of our state, it's a little different in that respect when you are the counterweight to the nation. And here we are, financial institution trying to do its best and do right by its members. Be that cooperative that's there to support the membership. And so that takes additional education. But we also find that elected officials do a really good job of hearing us out. There are some that are dug in. There's no question of that. But others are pretty reasonable because they don't want to see financial institutions leave the state. They don't want to see hyper-regional, which is happening in the banking sector. They want to see economic growth and prosperity for their constituents. And they count on us to do that.
Right. Well, Jeremy, that was actually going to be my next question is just more generally speaking, not on specific issues here, but when you're speaking with elected officials about issues that impact credit unions, are you finding that they're receptive to it? And do they understand the credit union difference? Or do you find that a lot of times you have to kind of explain like just credit union 101 to many of them? I mean, it sounds positive. It sounds like they're in favor of economic growth in their areas. But yeah, I was just curious about that. Just overall, what's your approach to explaining the credit union difference and how receptive are they to that right now?
It's never quite black and white, right? If you think about an elected official, think about all the headlines you see on a daily basis, right? Just in your personal reading that you'll see on the news, right? Whatever your news source is. You're going to see 5 different topics in 7 different areas, right? It's not always going to be clear when you're to elected officials exactly how they want to perceive an issue that's impacting their constituents. And they want to see their communities thrive. So they know that means that needs development. So when we go in there and talk with them, there are some that are experts in understanding what a difference between a credit union and another depository is, or a non-bank lender. If you talk to them, there's some that are, they're focused on agriculture and they're focused on labor. That's really their key, right? So you got to find that connection. And what I've found and what we're going to be focused on as a team here is making it hyper local. And what I mean by that is if an elected official feels and sees it from their constituents, they're going to take the time to understand it. So let me give you a couple examples. My last year at the league, there was a member of Congress from Southern California, and he calls me on a random Wednesday night and says, my son was just in a car wreck. He's okay, but he needs a car to get to college and to his job. Does one of the credit unions have some really great deal or something like that in case a program is like this? And so take a pause right there. So his family just has an emergency. What does he do? He calls the person he trusts in advocacy and understanding financial institution. And so that right there is that trust of understanding the difference, right? Then I'm able to connect him with 3 or 4 credit unions in his district that he would fit the field of membership for and that I know have significant auto programs. And what they were able to do, no special treatment, same thing they would do for any member. They helped his son out. His son got a car in the next 2 days and was able to go about his life and take care of the things he needed to. Likewise, I know another story with a member of Congress in Northern California who had a granddaughter who was so excited to get her brand new car at a 20% interest, right?
Yikes, okay.
The member of Congress knew his local credit union CEO, and the CEO said, before we do anything, we want to bring her in, give her financial education, help her understand the whole thing.
Great.
And so the member of Congress came along with her. They did the whole program together, and they brought me over there as well. And at the end of it, he said, I can't believe you do this. And as the CEO said, we do this for every one of our members every day.
Yeah.
That's how you tell the difference. When they see that, when they feel it, not just in their families, but they see it for their communities, that's how we tell the difference. And that's the areas
That's
we're
really cool.
That's
Yeah,
fantastic.
good stories.
Hey, and I could dig into that stuff a lot because of some banker op-eds that have been floating around the country, but maybe we'll come back at another time and revisit that messaging, you know?
Sure. And I'm happy to chat about the bankers here. It's a very different environment,
Yeah.
especially in California, Nevada. And again, the last 3 years, I've been working with their trade associations.
Okay.
I know the bankers well, and I know the different areas that they have to focus in. So happy to elaborate on that as well.
Yeah, I would love to dig into that, but I want to go into something you've mentioned a couple of times now, which is fuel solutions. We have talked to people at the leagues about this. I want to hear an update, see if you have anything for us about the impact fuel solutions has made so far and any plans for other initiatives like that.
Sure. Well, first of all, let's make sure we're all on the same field and understand what fuel is.
Yeah.
Because we've done a lot of education with our members to make sure they fully understand.
Mm-hmm.
Fuel Solutions is based off of an alliance between California, Nevada, and Utah. So I'm the league president for California and Nevada, and Rusty Cannon, he's the league president for Utah.
Mm-hmm.
And how we work is through this alliance model to make sure we're collaborating so that the advocacy piece can be properly sourced, right? The only focus of the league is to properly source advocacy.
There you go.
And we're able to take all of our back end pieces, which includes our education, our events, and our business solutions, and we're able to scale them all together through a collaborative and an alignment, right? So it's not a merger.
Yeah.
Utah is independent, and we support everything that Rusty's doing there, and vice versa, he does with us in California, Nevada. So for example, this week they just had their executive summit. The team from Fuel Solutions, made up of some people from California, some people from Nevada, and some from Utah, are there supporting them to make sure their event is successful for their members.
Yep.
That's all. At our government relations rally in April, I brought the team from the league, quote unquote, up on stage, and I asked our members, I said, can you tell who works at Fuel and who doesn't? And the reason why is you should never know. It is
Right.
all behind the scenes.
Yeah.
And it allows us then to properly source advocacy. And one of the things that's been a huge benefit is we've added in California, Nevada, 2 new staff, one in federal government affairs and one in state government. And that's how Fuel works. And then all the mechanics of running the league behind the scenes happen within collaboration over at Fuel. Stephen Nelson, he's their executive director, and we think of him as our EVP of Credit Union Service. And he's much of a part of us in everything we do every day. And then his team, I talk to them as if they were part of the league. And to your question about future initiatives, stay tuned. We're working on a few things. Steven's been in his role 4 months now.
Okay.
Been in my role 2 months. Rusty, I think, has been just over a year. And Fuel turns 1 year in July. So we have a few things we're working on. Lots of alignment, hitting the ground running, but all good things. And again, so we can get those proper resources into advocacy and focus on what matters most to our members.
Awesome.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, and thank you for that explainer, because it can be a little confusing when it's, there's 3 states and you're kind of wondering how exactly are they connected, but that's a very good explanation of how sourcing the advocacy and all that. So yeah, thank you for that.
Absolutely.
Wanted to actually move on to, this is a topic that this has been big for us the past week, a big news announcement. There was finally a nomination to the NCUA board. As you know, we've been going on for a while with just one board member, with Kyle Hoffman. Now there's a new nominee, John Cruz. We don't know a ton about him yet. Was just curious if you had any thoughts on this, kind of what's happening at the NCUA with the board and this transition that might be coming up soon. Any hopes of what you might be, hoping to see from John Cruz if he is confirmed and the NCUA overall?
Sure. I give a lot of credit to the team here at the league that was, again, here before I was at the Governmental Affairs Conference.
Mm-hmm.
They had been focused on expanding relationships with different regulatory bodies and the Treasury Department. Lisa Quarantana, our VP of Regulatory Affairs, had really been working on this. And she invited him to address California, Nevada, and Utah
Mm-hmm.
on that second day of the GAC. And that was before she knew he was about to be appointed to the NCUA board, or the rumor was about to break. I was going to say the appointment only happened last week.
Yeah.
So it was great. And I was there in my capacity from the Home Loan Bank. So we got to all have a few minutes with him and chat. I can't speak much to him. I mean, it was a very nice and pleasant conversation, but he
Sure.
was a Treasury official. Now, I can say I knew his predecessor in Trump 1, who was a consultant of mine at the Federal Home Loan Bank.
Yeah.
So I got to kind of get a good understanding of how at least it was from the first Trump administration and how Treasury was effective.
Yeah.
Now, generally, my philosophy shows that NCUA is our home turf. They are our bread and butter. They are a regulator. We spend a lot of time also on the CFPB.
Mm-hmm.
So when we look at FSOC, for example, they're the coordinating board for all banking regulators, right? And their mission is financial stability. You can see at the end of the day who really pulls the strings in those rooms and how it's ordered. And while it is a collaboration of all the banking regulators, Treasury is the conduit.
Right.
So I do think Mr. Cruz will have a great line of sight into how Treasury is aligning with the banking regulators if he's confirmed. And I think that will then allow him to execute the mission that he's been given from the administration in the White House. But again, all I can say so far is a very pleasant conversation with him. And, you know, I can only hope for continual good things from the NCUA in terms of the deregulatory package that Chairman Hotman has executed.
Yeah. And we'll probably, again, like other things, loop back around with you and talk about that down the road. But I want to ask about one really kind of important issue out there, which is about small credit unions.
Sure.
And, you know, I know it was a focus and it continues to be a focus for Scott Simpson. He focused on it while he was out west and now with America's credit unions. What are you seeing as the challenges for small credit unions? What are they facing in California and Nevada? And what are you doing to help support?
When I spoke about the operating environment here in California and somewhat in Nevada, I think the impact it has on all sizes of credit unions is incredibly impactful. The smaller the credit union, the harder it is, just given the operating challenges, right? We're a high wage state, for example, a lot of labor laws, the general complexities of operating a small business in California. I have a particular fondness for the small credit unions. And while we're on a podcast, you can't see, I'm actually holding a pin that one of the small credit union CEOs made based off of a grassroots program we started in my first or second year here at Elite. It was about getting our grassroots letters going in a system we call Connect for the Cause and payroll deduction, how we support PAC. And it was this 1-2 punch campaign. Now, this credit union CEO, he created these pins to support the program independent of us and handed them out to those who were participating. Small credit unions can do big things.
Yeah.
That is not my line. That is one of our small credit unions, Alan from Parishioners. He gave that to me about my second week on the job when we were talking.
All right.
And I do have a particular fondness for the role that they play. I spend a lot of time with them because I want to understand the different challenges they have.
Yeah.
And in fact, last week was at a conference that several small credit unions in Southern California have bound together to create an alliance for. And we kind of did this kind of conversation. And California and Nevada have always had our Shapiro network, which is for credit unions of today, I believe it's under 278 million in assets.
Okay.
And this is a strong network that was established, I think, even before Dave Chatfield. And it allows them to collaborate together. It provides grants and opportunities for educational growth or technical assistance, actual operations at the branch.
Yeah.
I'm a huge proponent of our Partners in Advocacy program, which helps larger, not just credit unions, but our larger partners like TrueStage or Valera sponsor small credit unions to go to the GAC.
Yep.
We do a lot of those kinds of works, but really given what's happened with the small credit unions right now, and I always call them the Shapiros. I just want to make sure we're on the same terminology.
Got it.
What they need is listening. And I've been taking a lot of time just to listen to what they say. Now, we also have on our board 2 Shapiro credit union leaders, and I'm listening to how they're navigating different challenges, and we talk and check in frequently about these things to make sure they're adequately represented. And the team also knows it's a passion project for me too. So I don't think there's any doubt of their representation and voice here at the league.
Very good.
Nice. Okay.
And I'll send you a picture. I will send you a picture of the pin.
Oh, please.
That would be nice. We can
And-
include it in our show notes.
And
I've
very-
had this since 2008. Yeah.
Very quickly, Jeremy, was it Alan who made it?
No, it's Eric Bruin.
Okay. With which?
But Alan gave me the notion of small credit unions can do big things.
Okay. Thanks, Alan. And where?
Parishioners Credit Union, Federal Credit Union.
Parishioners. All right. Just want to make sure we give proper credit.
Please do.
Yeah.
Love that. Yeah, because I know a lot of conversations have taken place around, being merged out of existence, like these smaller credit unions
Yeah.
with all the consolidation. But yeah, it's really nice to see this big push. Okay, Jeremy, just one more question before we move on to part 2 of our interview. Another kind of blunt question, I guess, just from your perspective and, kind of overseeing California and Nevada and your knowledge of the credit unions in those 2 states, what would you say are the biggest things that are keeping the credit union CEO up at night in 2026? That could be any number of things, I suppose, but what would you say about that?
Listening to them both during my time at the Home Loan Bank and my time here back with the league, I think one theme always emerges, and it's the lack of consistency as the political pendulum swings. They need to be able to serve their members, they need consistency. And when the operating environment goes from belt and suspenders here in Nevada to very little regulation or reversing things they've built policies for and built infrastructure for, that on the surface looks like it's helping them with regulatory relief, but what it's really doing is tackling a cost that they've already invested in and making them go back to something they didn't. So it's not consistent. I would suggest, from the greater knowledge I've learned from them, consistency is number one in the operating environment. Number two, as I've mentioned several times today, the environment itself. Just the onslaught of things they have to comply and operate with, make sure that they can do what they're charged to do. And they're all really good at doing that, as you know.
Of course.
Read the stories they send you about how they save the consumer, how they help their members in hard times. Last week, I had the privilege of touring one of the foundations of a credit union and seeing the work they're doing to help the unhoused and the homeless community. The fact that firefighters and police officers volunteer at their credit union to make packages that go out into the shelters. And, yeah, I mean, there is a tremendous amount of work of people helping people happening.
Yeah.
And they want to do more of it. And they just can't do it if it's just not a consistent environment, because at the end of the day, they are running a fully functional cooperative that has to meet operational goals.
Yeah.
Okay. No, that's another thing I guess you took from the previous job is just learning, up close what they're really dealing with and thinking about. So yeah, hopefully we'll get some consistency. I would agree.
Hope so.
Okay. All right. Well, Jeremy, now let's go ahead and move on to part 2. This is going to be all about you.
Okay. Well, I prefer to always be about our members, but
No, and I love that. I love that about you, but
here we go anyway.
You're just going to focus on you anyway, so you're going to have to do it. Okay.
Well, a little fun.
Okay.
So Jeremy, I know you're outside of Sacramento now currently. Where did you grow up? What's your hometown?
It's actually been in the news the last couple of days because of fires, unfortunately.
Oh.
A small town called Agora Hills in Southern California. It's literally on the borders of Ventura and LA County. So if you go find where that line is, you'll find Agora Hills.
Okay. All right.
And I'm actually from Oak Park, which is a suburb of Agora Hills. It's hard to imagine that there's something smaller than Agora.
Let me ask you a question. Do you know of the town Pine Mountain Club?
No, I can't say I do.
See, so I lived there briefly. I'm in Los Angeles now, but I was living up there just briefly before I moved down here. Yeah, I would go into, it's right by like Fraser Park. Are you familiar at all?
Of course.
Okay, so if you go further into the woods past Fraser Park for another like half an hour, but I would go into like Santa Clarita for, appointments and stuff, and they didn't even know where it was. And I'm like, I just drove here. Like it's right. Anyway. So there is a place smaller, I believe. But that's funny. Okay. California's a big place.
It is a big place.
Okay, well, what's something other than it just being small? What's something else kind of unique that it's known for, your hometown?
So it's probably not known. That's the fun part of it.
Okay.
That's true, yeah.
Or it is secret, just outside of Malibu. And, it's kind of hard to say that, especially because I came from a working class family. It is a little known for where some celebrities settle down. And
Sure.
there's an
Sure.
area just outside of kind of the Oak Park Agora area called North Ranch. And that's where a lot of celebrities live. So you're kind of used to it growing up.
Yeah.
Not surprised when you just see at the market, you see an actor or something like that. You're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's John's mom.
Okay. Anyone in particular that you remember citing?
I'm not going to name names, but there were plenty. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, Jeremy, let me ask you about growing up there. What was your first ever paid summer or after school job?
Very first one was actually in the shopping center I was talking about. That's a little more on the expensive side.
Okay.
I worked at Baskin Robbins North Ranch for 4.5 years.
Whoa.
Yep. I started day after I got my learner's permit. My mom said, if you want to have a car, you better be able to afford the insurance on it. So got a job and I scooped ice cream and then worked my way up to, no surprise, manager, and then was the cake decorator, actually.
Whoa.
I learned how to do it.
Oh, how fun. Oh.
Baskin Robbins.
Did you have to learn all 31 flavors?
There were way more than 31.
Okay.
There are only 31 ever on display.
Oh.
Yes, did have to know them. I had to know, like a kids cup is a 2.5 ounce scoop. Adult serving is 4. You have to know the proper serving of hot fudge to make a sundae. Yeah, all that stuff. And then you have to know the weights and measures when you're making a cake.
I love this so much.
You have to know how to use a 32 tip. Yeah, all that stuff. Yeah.
Oh, and I'm wanting ice cream. Because it's getting hot here. Oh, that's fun. Okay. All right. Next question. This is kind of an interesting one. Since we're talking about, your background, obviously, with politics and government and advocacy that you're doing now, of course, with credit unions, I'm going to ask you this. Out of the following characters from these political or government-themed TV shows and movies, and that's loose, by the way, as far as like a government theme.
Yeah. Right.
Which of these characters would you most want to have accompany you for a day of lobbying for credit unions? So the choices are Selena Meyer from Veep, played by Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Oh, yeah.
Leslie Knope from Parks and Rec, played by Amy Poehler. Tracy Flick from Election, played by Reese Witherspoon. That was a funny movie. Or finally, Kate Weiler from The Diplomat, a more recent show, played by Carrie
Great
Russell.
show.
Oh, but I didn't. It's not on purpose that they're all women. Those are the ones.
No. First of all, great cast there. Okay. If I was going to hang out with someone, it would be Selena Meyer. No question of that. Definitely Carrie Russell's character in The Diplomat. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah.
Her style, how she reads people, reads the situation, has full situational awareness. That's very much how my advocacy strategies and approaches are. I'd love to do political strategy with her, sit in a room and pull out the map. And believe me, I'm a big fan of that show.
That show is so great.
Yeah, Michael.
I was happy to see Bradley Whitford join the cast.
Oh, yeah.
From The West Wing,
Yeah, it's so fun.
And Allison Janney's in there,
Allison
too.
Janney's
So,
great.
I mean,
But Carrie Russell.
Yeah.
Ooh, love Carrie Russell. She's great.
Great role.
Great answer. Okay, back to your childhood really quick, Jeremy. What was the first album, cassette, CD, piece of music you ever bought or remember listening to?
So I'm a product of the 80s.
Yeah.
So probably first song I ever really remembered hearing was something from Michael Jackson, whether it's Thriller or Beat It or something along those lines.
Sure. Yeah.
But the first album that I ever connected to was Hotel California by the Eagles, and it's still my favorite to this day. I'm a big classic rocker, love guitar. My daughter and I play, a little bit, but yeah.
It's such a good answer.
Best song ever. Yes.
In fact, I will try to Google this, but Jeremy, I think it just celebrated its 50th anniversary, the album.
Oh, really?
And when I was here at the League, when they did the HBO documentary that year, they were on tour. They were here in Sacramento, and a bunch of us went because we were all really close friends, and it was a political event, and we got to go, and it was an amazing show. And I had all 7 of them on stage. It was pretty awesome.
Yes, the single came out in 1976.
Yep.
Hotel California. Yeah. Also, I got to tell you, Jeremy, my parents were able to see them. It was 10, 15 years ago. I think in Woodstock, New York. Probably their favorite concert ever.
Yeah.
Favorite concert for mine would be my wife and I went to the Oasis reunion concert.
My God, you got to go.
Yeah, so that one was a whole. That was if you were a product of the 80s and 90s, that was a whole different.
Heck yeah.
Anyway, that's another conversation.
Oh, I love it. That's great.
Just real quick on Hotel California, I actually have it's a custom made art piece in my living room with the quote, "You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave." Because I was trying to find like an art piece with that on it, but I couldn't find like one that I liked. So I had it like custom made actually off of Etsy. So that's how much I like that song.
All right.
When we're not recording and talking to my membership, we can have this conversation.
Of course. Yes. And by the way.
Okay. Final question today, Jeremy, real quick here. What was the last movie you watched?
That's a good question.
Or TV show.
Or
it's probably more a series.
Yeah.
The last one my wife and I just finished was Black Doves with Keira Knightley.
Yep.
Really good one. And then Rooster with
okay.
Steve Carell.
Yeah, excellent series. Filmed in Stockton, by the way, at University of Pacific. So a great series. Highly recommend.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Jeremy, you've got great taste.
Oh, thank you.
Of course.
Okay. All right. Well, again, we could talk forever. There's so many issues we need to follow up with you on, of course, here in California, Nevada. But yes, for now, Jeremy Empol, President and CEO of California's credit unions and Nevada's credit unions. Thank you so much for joining us today. This was a lot of fun.
Great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you, Jeremy.
Absolutely. And to all of our listeners, thank you for downloading today's show. Please subscribe to Shared Accounts with CU Times and all the normal podcast places. And be sure to share the episodes with everyone you know, coworkers, old coworkers, new ones, friends, relatives. You know the drill.
Yeah, everybody at the Baskin Robbins. Just let them know. Feel free to rate us too. As always, thank you so much to our producer, Zach Nyheisel. Thanks, Zach. Join us again next time for a new episode of Shared Accounts with CU Times. Until then, thanks for listening.